Hey everyone! Today we're going to sew the Simplistic shoulder bag from Oro Rosa Patterns. It's this cute little shoulder bag right here. It's got tassels on the sides and double zipper pockets. On the back there's a zipper pocket. It's got a recessed zipper on the inside. And inside is huge and has a couple slip pockets in there. This is a super fun bag to sew. It's a great size. Here's what it looks like on. So, are you ready to sew with me? Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Let's get sewing. I've gone ahead and installed my purse feet on my base as written in the instructions and secured it with duct tape. I measured and marked and put double-sided tape onto my handle and my tassels. For the handles, you're going to go ahead and remove the double-sided tape and fold your raw edges in towards the center on both sides. You'll do this all the way down and repeat on the other one. If you'd like, you can edge paint the raw edges of your tassel pieces. You really only need to edge paint this one long side. It's going to be the side that the double-sided tape is not on. Now that you have your handles taped down, go ahead and fold them in half so that raw edge is encased. We're going to top stitch just down that folded edge. Like I said, we're going to be top stitching that folded over edge. I'm going to use a 5.5 stitch length and a 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to backstitch at the beginning and the end. We're going to go ahead and repeat that for the other handle. Go ahead and grab your swivels, a ruler, and a marking pen. Take one top stitch edge and loop it through and back 1.5 inches. Measure and mark for a rivet and place your rivet. Sorry about that. Here's the measure and mark. We're going to punch a hole and don't go through your top stitching. Then we'll go ahead and do the same thing with the other handle piece. Loop it through, make sure our top stitching is facing the inside of our swivel. Fold it over 1.5 inches. Measure and mark. I'm actually going to mark from the other side because see how my rivet's hanging off a little bit here? I don't like that, and I'm going to have to repunch that. And I can see better from this side. Oh yeah, that's much better. So I'm going to repunch this hole over here. It's going to be covered by the rivet, so I'm not so worried about it. Now that that is done, you can go ahead and grab a strap end and install that onto the two ends like this and add your screws and then repeat for the other side. Go ahead and grab a tassel and remove the double-sided tape and fold one raw edge into the line that you drew earlier. We're going to do this all the way down. Now that that's down, go ahead and grab some more double-sided tape and lay it directly on top of the folded edge you just did. I'll remove that double-sided tape and we are going to fold this edge over. Okay, now we're going to top stitch down the center of this. I'm going to do that by top stitching on the raw edge so I can see it better. So we're going to top stitch with that 5.5. I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch away from that raw edge all the way down. You can go ahead and repeat for the other one. You can install your zipper ends onto your tassels and then set those aside. Go ahead and grab your back lining zipper pocket pieces, your 8-inch zipper, and your zipper pull, plus your zipper facing. We're going to clip our zipper tape onto one side of one piece of zipper pocket lining, and we're going to stitch that on at 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Then we're going to go ahead and take that other side of the zipper tape and put it to the other zipper pocket lining in the same manner. Then repeat for the other one. This is where you'll press these open away from the zipper, both pocket pieces. So you can press like this and then flip this other one open and press that away. And it'll be open like this. I'm using waterproof canvas, so there's no way my pieces are going to stay open. So I have double-sided tape on each side. And I'm not going to take that off just yet. I'll come back to that after we mess with the zipper facing. On the right side of your zipper pocket facing, yes, on the right side, we're going to measure up 1 inch from the bottom, and we're going to draw a 7-inch line centered. Then just up from that, we're going to draw another parallel line 1/2 inch away. Now we've got this cute little box here. I'm going to connect my lines. Go ahead and add a strip of double-sided tape. 1/2 inch would be good here, but I used 1/4 inch. It'll be fine. On the wrong side, I'm going to measure, well, I'm just going to mark the center. Go ahead and grab your main panel back, the one that doesn't have any cutouts, and your zipper facing. Remove the double-sided tape. Find your center line and center your facing onto your main panel. Press that on. Measure 1 inch up from your facing and go ahead and draw on this one. I'm going to use a silver marking pen this time since we're marking on the back. This is going to be 7 inches again. And then 1/2 inch up from that. So it looks like this. We're going to go ahead and stitch around that box that we made originally all the way around. I'm going to use a 3 stitch length for this and stitch right on that line all the way around your box. I'm going to go ahead and put a line 1/4 of an inch up right through that box we made. And then we can go ahead and seam rip this open. I'm going to go from that 1/2 inch mark I made earlier, straight down that straight line, and stop at that other line. Then I'm going to switch to my scissors, and I'm going to angle cut into my box, but not going past the seam. Flip over to the back side of your main panel and put some double-sided tape around your box, about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch away from your stitching. Go ahead and remove that double-sided tape and take your facing and fold it into the inside of your bag. While your lining zipper is pressed open, I'm going to lay some 1/8 inch double-sided tape down at the top edge of the zipper on both sides. I'm going to peel the backings off of both of them, and then I'll center my opening over my zipper. I want to make sure my zipper pull is to the left. I can press everything down. Leaving this just the way it is, we're going to top stitch all the way around. Leave long tails at the beginning and the end. After you've pulled your thread tails to the back, go ahead and tie them off, and then I like to burn them. Then we're going to take your top and fold it down and press it with your fingers. I'm going to go ahead and grab some clips and clip this together, and then I'm going to trim that excess piece off. Now we can sew our zipper pocket all the way around. I'm going to sew from this side. I've got the main panel looking up at me, so I can sew down like this. Your back panel is done for now. Just double check that your zipper pocket's not sewn shut. And then go to the next pack. Go ahead and grab your front and your zipper pocket facings and lay them right sides together with the cutouts. On each side, you can go ahead and clip those down, and then we'll go sew them. Go ahead and cut snips into your curves and put double-sided tape around your sewn edge about 1/2 inch away. We'll take the double-sided tape backing off, and just like before, we're going to roll our facing to the back, fold it over, and press it down. So you can see just a tiny bit of my front on the back side, and then none of the facing on the front. We'll repeat this for the other side. Go ahead and put your zipper pulls on to your 9-inch zippers and grab your side zipper pocket linings. And then we're going to go ahead and put one onto the left side of one lining and one to the right side of one lining, and then we're going to sew those on at 1/4 inch. Your zipper tape will be a little short on both sides, just center it in there. Your zipper is going to go towards the top of the more narrow side of your side zipper panel linings. Go ahead and fold that zipper pocket away from your zipper and press it if you can. I'm going to put a strip of double-sided tape underneath like I did previously. You're going to repeat for the other one, but I'm going to do one for right now. We're going to put 1/8 inch double-sided tape along the raw edge of the zipper on the side we stitched. Go ahead and take your 1/8 inch double-sided tape off. I'm starting on the opposite side she says to start with in the pattern because that's the one I grabbed. So I'm just sticking this down onto the zipper. Like so. I'm matching up the ends of the zipper with the ends of my pocket, and now we'll top stitch around this opening. Now that both sides have been installed, go ahead and fold your zipper pocket up to meet that edge, clip in place, and then we're going to sew down the 2 short edges at 3/8 inch. I'm going to stitch this the same way I did last time. I'm going to have my main panel looking up at me, and I'm going to fold it out of the way and use that 3/8 inch seam allowance to sew down the sides. Then you can trim your seam allowance, but don't cut your zipper tape. Now we can go ahead and baste that zipper pocket to the zipper. And then we're going to repeat those steps for the other side of the main panel. I've gone ahead and installed my name tag. So now I'm going to grab my front main panel and my back main panel and put them right sides together. We're going to clip down the sides and then sew at 3/8 inch. I'm going to use a 3.5 stitch length and a 3/8 inch seam allowance. You can see I have some discrepancies in my fabric. I'm just going to sew at 3/8 of an inch and catch this other panel. And you'll see my panel is a little bit shorter. That's okay too. We'll just trim that later. We'll go ahead and repeat on the other side. Okay, so we're going to trim now, and we're only going to trim this little corner bit. We're going to leave the zipper pocket alone, and we're going to trim the back piece. So we're not getting any of the zipper that we just sewed. Now that we're past the zipper, we can trim that down, and we're going to leave the last 2 inches alone. Okay, so we're going to repeat that trimming method on the other side. If you don't have purse feet on, go ahead and put those on now if you want them. Mark the centers of your bottom panels on the short sides, and we're going to match those up to the side seams. That's going to be clipped on there like so, and I'm going to use 2 more clips. We're now going to continue to clip around and then staple baste this on. We've got the base clipped on, so we can come in and staple this. And just using a regular old stapler. Now we're going to sew this on with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Go ahead and remove all your staples. I trimmed my base down to get rid of my staples instead of individually removing them all. So I went ahead and laid my double-sided tape, and I put snips all the way around. I'm going to leave this for now. Since my tape is not working, I'm going to do the lining first, and then I'll do the exterior. Go ahead and grab your slip pocket and fold it in half, wrong sides together. And then we're going to top stitch that top fold at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Grab your main panel lining and your slip pocket and go ahead and put it together with matching up the bottom raw edges. And grab your ruler and measure and mark at 5.5 inches over from the left. Mark your line, then move over 5 inches. Mark another line, and then 2 inches over. And mark your third line. I'm going to go ahead and sew this on all at once. I'm going to start by basting down the side. I'm going to pivot along the bottom and baste along the bottom to my first line. I'm going to stop directly on that first line we drew, and I'm going to pivot and sew up. I'm going to stop in our top stitch line and pivot and sew back down, stitching over those lines we just stitched on. And we'll pivot and baste on the bottom to the next line and repeat, and we'll keep doing that all the way down. Go ahead and grab your zipper and fold over one side 90 degrees. Tuck that edge under and make a little pleat, and then we'll sew that together. Going back to our slip pocket, we're going to measure over from the top edge 2.5 inches on each side and make a line. Then we're going to start our zipper on that line. And we'll clip it on. And when you get down to the other edge, you want to taper that off. You're going to repeat for the other side on the main panel lining. We're going to go ahead and baste that zipper on both sides. Grab your top trim lining and put it right sides together with your lining main panel and clip that on, and then we'll go sew that at 3/8 of an inch. When you get to that tapered edge, make sure you've got it pulled out of the way. After you've repeated for your second one, go ahead and flip that right side up and press it a bit, and then go ahead and top stitch on your lining side. And then repeat for the other one. We need to reduce the bulk in the seam, so we're going to trim that down to 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to make the lines like we did on the main panel on the lining. Now that those are marked, we're going to flip them over to the right side and put them both right sides together, matching up the top corners, and then we're going to sew down the sides at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then repeat on the other side. I pulled my zipper ends up and out of the way so I didn't accidentally sew through them. Go ahead and trim your seam allowance down except for the top 3/8 of an inch. Go ahead and run your double-sided tape down your curve like you did on the main panels, and then snip into the curves just like you did on the main panels. And then repeat on the other side. Let's go ahead and clip the bottom lining to the lining panels just like we did for the exterior. Clip it all the way around, staple it, and then we can go sew it. We're going to sew with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Trim your interior's base. Go ahead and insert it into your exterior and make your mark on your exterior as well. My double-sided tape is hating this fabric, so I am just only showing you one side here, and I'm just going to show it on speed up, but you're just bending all your fabric over and attaching it to your double-sided tape. Okay, I made my 2-inch marks on the exterior connector side, and I'm going to flip the exterior right side out. Okay, and now I'm going to insert my lining. Line up my connector lining with the line inside that we drew earlier. And I'm going to start clipping these in. We're now going to top stitch all the way around at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, we're going to grab our gate rings, O-rings, D-rings, whatever it is you have. I have 1.5 inch O-rings here. I'm going to slide them onto my connector and fold it over 1 3/4 of an inch. Now with the connector folded over, from the raw edge, I'm going to measure 5/8 of an inch and make 2 rivet hole placements. Then repeat for the other side. Punch your holes and install your rivets. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added my zipper pull, my zipper end, and my strap ends. And now we're going to work with our tassels. We're going to fold them in half, and then we're going to slip that folded edge through our ring pull from the front. And there's a little bit of the loop sticking through, so we're going to tuck both those tassel ends from the back through. And then we're going to pull that so it lays nice and flat. You may have to do some manipulating to get it to lay cute. Then you add your handle and your bag is complete. Great job, everyone. I hope you had fun sewing with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.